Welcome back to The Grind. In this video, we're going to be playing around with Sepulla a little bit and having some fun, adding some extra equip spells along with Sepulla in some fights against some stronger bases with higher level towers, just to see what we can do and how we can deal with certain setups. Now, I do want to show the runes that I have. I just have the basic runes that come with Sepulla's branch, and currently the stats for Ashes to Ashes are doing nothing because there is no cooldown. And this is the gear. I have mythic gear. A lot of them are level, or a couple of them are level 10, and then most of them, others are over level 5 at least. So this first base, it was a very challenging base with level 98 towers, 14 billion defense, and I believe that's 2 full tiers up for where my Sepulla is at in level. And most dragons are unable to take this base. Only a few can actually get through with a lot of practice. And we're gonna watch me defeat this base a few different ways at the end of the video. But first, we're going to take a look at this base with 7 billion defense and level 97 towers on island 1 and 2 with a couple level 60 some towers. And we're going to go in with Invincible Shield, which is a very effective spell to help prevent damage that Sepulla and the summon take from towers if you can get rid of the Ice Flak and the Blue Mage especially, but also Howitzer super shots can break this shield as well as cannon towers. So you can see when I come around, I use Death Shriek to freeze the towers, and then I use Ashes to Ashes to deal damage to the front 3 towers, and then I can use this Invincible Shield, which deals with the Mage Drain shot, and then I was in range to freeze the Howitzer, so it didn't even hit me, and it allowed me to manage the island a lot more easily and deal a lot more damage, and kept my summon alive, because even Sepulla's Ashes to Ashes shield, the summon will still take damage, but with the Invincible Shield, none of the dragons take damage, and I was more easily able to deal with that base. This one is almost 15 billion defense power, and it is a short island setup with level 99 towers. So this is definitely hitting up 2 full tiers, but it is a short island setup, so don't forget that. And we're going to go in with Invincible Shield on this attack as well, just in case we need a little extra defense. So we come around on this island with Ashes to Ashes already loaded, and we go for the front 3 towers after freezing them with Death Shriek. The second cast kills all front 3 towers, and then I freeze again to decrease the damage, and I actually came out without losing much damage at all, and the summon is more than half health. So again, I start with Death Shriek and Ashes to Ashes on the front 3, and by the time I destroy those front 3 with the second round, the summon killed another tower. I actually wasted a Death Shriek earlier on while the towers were still frozen instead of actually saving it, and I was able to get through those towers quite effectively, again without a defender. This one is level 101 towers, over 12 billion defense. And I brought a free spell for the back of Island 1 and 2. So again, I come in with Death Shriek, I hit the front couple towers with the Ashes to Ashes, and then I continue to use freeze after and Ashes to Ashes on the towers that are still up. The short islands are a lot easier to deal with Sepulla because of the damage and crowd control. But on this island, I freeze actually the Howitzer first, but while I take out the Red Mage, and then I use the free spell on the back to disable them so I can deal damage without worrying about taking damage, and it allowed me to get through this base without taking much damage to Sepulla as well. So that's another option, the free spell. If you can get rid of the Red Mage early on, it can be very effective to help control the other towers, especially on the back of a long island, especially if there's a Howitzer tower. So this is the same base again, and this time we're going in with Invincible Shield. So once again, we come in with this short island with Ashes to Ashes ready, we freeze, we hit all 3 front towers with Ashes to Ashes, and then with the second round of Ashes to Ashes, hit that back left tower to deal more damage, freeze it, and allow it to take even more damage with the regular ammo shots. And you can see I'm using auto flight because those regular auto attacks are doing a lot of damage after Death Shriek. And here, after the Blue Mage is gone, I put on Invincible Shield. I did use it a little early, but it allowed me to get within range so I could freeze these other towers and allow me to be protected and not take as much damage from them. Whereas if I didn't use Invincible Shield, they would have done so much damage to me before I was in range to freeze them. And unfortunately, that 1 mil there didn't die, but I was very close to 100%ing that attack. And now the fun part, trying to get through Justin's base, level 98 towers, 14 billion defense on the long island. We take Cloak in this time, and if we can get through that blue mage before getting killed, which we barely do, and activate the Cloak, the summon still deals damage and you can still remain protected without taking damage. Then you can pop out and freeze the towers and use Ashes to Ashes again to take out more towers. We got 64% on that part, only left 1.5 towers of health, and once we hit the farms and mills at the end of the base, it was well over 70% completion with an easy cleanup. Now we're taking reverse projectiles, which is another very useful one that I most liked with using against the howitzers. And you can reverse the howitzer shot. If there's no red mage, you'll kill it, but it allows you a little bit of protection until you get in range to freeze it. So this was a very effective way to deal with the howitzers on the back of islands. And you can see after a lot of practice runs, I was able to fully complete that long kill island, and I was very proud of that run because most dragons are unable to do that. But again, it was undefended and I did need to use an additional equip spell, but it is very useful with Sepulla because Sepulla lacks that one bit of long range protection. And with that, you can allow yourself to use the Ashes to Ashes more offensively on the front towers so you don't fly over top of them and leave them behind. So I actually had a lot of fun flying Sepulla after the buff, and it's made my decision this season really hard as far as which dragon to go for. I am still undecided exactly on what I'm going to do. I'm not sure if I want to get both mythics again this season because it does hurt progression rewards a lot because you're spending most of your rubies on super sigil chests rather than gold chests, which give you a lot more progression items. However, I do believe that Sepulla is a reasonable option this season because obviously my decision has been a lot more difficult now with this buff. I would say that anyone who is not a very good hunter flyer or doesn't want to invest a lot of time and effort into learning Calivore should choose Sepulla. And I do believe if you put in a little bit of time into learning Sepulla and practicing Sepulla, you will end up very satisfied with what Sepulla can do. But do not expect Sepulla to clear bases as well as Calivore can. But that in mind, Calivore does require a lot more time and practice and skill in order to clear those really difficult bases. So another way to look at it is Calivore is a very challenging dragon, which means with low skill or low practice, you will not do as good as you will with Sepulla at low skill and low practice. Once you get into medium skill or medium level of practice, then Calivore starts to get closer to Sepulla. And once you get over to high skill or a high amount of practice, Calivore then exceeds Sepulla's level of ability, but Sepulla's ability does continue to rise with more practice and skill because you can do some fun and unique things with a little bit of extra practice and timing with the spells because of the way Ashes to Ashes works now with the freeze and the shield. It has a lot more variability and ability to use a little bit of timing and skill to maximize your results. So I hope you enjoyed this fun little video of Sepulla. I know I enjoyed making this one, trying out various spells and seeing what I could do against more challenging bases. Let me know in the comments what you think overall of Sepulla and what your plan is this season if you are going for a mythic, which one you plan to choose. So I'll see you in the next video.